So before we start, we're going to attempt a review of Mass Effect 1. Before that, I gotta set up the YouTube thing because it's freaking ridiculous. Okay, so the way this works, I don't think I'm going to uh, actually like um um uh I'm not sure if I'm going to do this uh actively as we're playing. I have a composition book somewhere where I can say literally take notes. Um, Here's my Mass Effect jacket, which I can't wear because it's too freaking hot. Um, please, please. Okay. Wait, you have to I have this um, composition book where I could literally make notes. Um, I don't know if I should use pencil or pen. The pen is Demogorgon, so you might want to use might want to use that. It was here the whole time. So I started taking notes with. By the way, these are kind of examples of kind of just there to help me have the bullet points in place for ease of So anyway, the thing is that well, I'm considering doing a review system, or at least a critique system, which focuses on negatives. Um, Now I'm going to take off my headset so I can focus on my thoughts. Um, the fact of the matter is that I've actually given a fair amount of thought to the idea of uh, we're probably going to experiment with positives a little bit, but at the end of the day, there's more. Like I think the reason why I kind of focus on a negative, as it were, isn't because like I'm cynical or 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 pessimistic or you know I tend to actually just focus on the negative. It's because negative things are problems to solve. The things that ain't broke, you don't need to fix. I mean, then again, as they say, it's good, but it could be better. Like, there's always some room for improvement, but generally speaking, like, there, it's not. It's one, as I said before, that the good things are just easy to take for granted. But beyond that, it's when you're when you're looking at a game critically, the negative stuff is more interesting because again, you can look at it and be like, well, how do you do this? How do you do this better? How do you fix these issues? So, um, but I do want to try to give some credit to areas where it actually, you know, does things well as much as I can. So keep in mind that regardless of the fact that I'm doing positives here, it also might be another reason why I want to keep the positives and negatives off stream, at least at this point. The other thing is that I am nowhere near lore runner in terms of viewership, and particularly in terms of chat participation. Now, granted, while my review system would tend to encourage chat participation, um, I don't know how to communicate that. You know, how to be like, hey, like, leave your feedback. And then I had to, like, stop, kind of like the learner does sometimes, and had to explain how the review system works. Um, or have a chat bot, like, have a keyword. I don't even have a chat bot. I don't know how to design a chat bot. I have no reason to have a chat bot right now. You know, I think if I have like an active chat that is into my review system and wants to engage with it directly, when I reach that point, I may start like actually displaying it. At this point, I think it only would be kind of detrimental because the fact is that I may have a situation where I do in fact have more negatives than positives, and people will think, "Oh, I hate this game," because I have more positive or more negatives than positives, and you know the thing is that I may experiment with different things. Like I don't even think we're missed because one, displaying the positives and negatives, I have no idea how to do that. Um, it may sort of depend on the game because, like, for Sea Skylines, I can kind of go between a little bit between the um like but anyway, for assuming that the majority of stuff I'm doing at least currently is going to be on PC, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to actually um go back and forth without really rethinking how I'm doing my live streams. Um, so for now, the only other way I can imagine doing it is maybe finding some way to have like a plugin where I can just like generate some like Google document or something, or a spreadsheet or something online, and then actually display the content of that document or spreadsheet through a OBS plugin, and then have you know my phone open to that document or spreadsheet, and then able to like edit it remotely without having to use my PC, um, which is currently focused on playing the game. Um, if I'm playing something on my PlayStation 5, which I really should, I think I may do more PlayStation 5 stuff once we start getting actual true next gen exclusive games. Like I'm thinking like the Kenya Bridge of Spirits or whatever the name is. Um, when that comes out, I'm probably going to play it on PlayStation 5, even though it's available on PC. Even though I have an RTX that can do all of the fancy stuff that the PlayStation 5 can do. Um, it'll be easier to like actually try out like a proper like on-screen review system. Like even though I'm hesitant to do it. Um, I guess I'm kind of making excuses because it would be like technically difficult outside of console games you know where my PC would be free up to just go into OBS. Like have the actual OBS program like over here, then the full screen display over here. Um, yeah. and then you can like swap over to OBS and then be like, okay, go into the text file and then add positives and negatives. Um, anyway, this may have taken too long. I really want to get into Mass Effect 2. It's already taking me too long talking about this really stuff. So I think I'm trying to do at least a few positives that I've already thought of. Um, I'm probably saying like dialogue choices are mostly clear of like should I like use Tor effect? I'm pretty sure that's like something that only low runner viewers would know. Of ambiguity, I guess maybe. Ambiguity, not ambiguity. Like basically, you get the gist of what Shepard is going to say. Dialogue choices are arranged. I'll just say really bottom sounds at bottom. Those are two positives along the so it's better or simply closer to the scale of the original of the sequels. I don't know. Like it's difficult to gauge if it's better. I just gonna make a note of that because I don't really have like neutral points. Um, and struggle to. That's the caveat. I think it's mostly polished. Um, I'm not sure what to say about like um the gameplay and control in general. Um, so for negative, first is going to be the hacking. The PC hacking mechanics are still garbage. So the inability to is absurd. I'm just gonna say absurd. So that's two negatives to control. Um, one being that it is difficult to control. Two is that you're not being given the option, which is another a separate aspect of control. Um, and there's at least one more negative to um, I'm going to give it a negative for time limit because it the time limit is somewhat reasonable. In fact, I might give that. So I'm sure I'm gonna give it a positive for the time limit. Um, I might just to be like fair. I don't know, like mission critical or like things like that aren't technically hacking yours to represent it with the. I don't know how. Um, this is depending on what you're hacking. So I got two positive for hacking minigame. Um, I'm actually doing like counteracting the um. Okay, I need to make sure I'm on the right screen. Um, Now we're going to give even more negatives to the hacking minigame. Um, this is only going to be a single negative though, even though there's many components to it. Or at least two components to it. There's the skill gate, and these are kind of each half a negative effectively. Um, Although there might be still one more. I'm probably gonna I'm probably just gonna fold all 3 points into one negative. Um, most of my negativity is actually focused uh on the hacking mini game. I'm not sure if there's anything else in the game that oh yeah, there is one more thing, which I think is control. Um that's the hit one. 2 words. We're using Oxford comma. Let's go ahead and use an Oxford comma. I might um uh give maybe an information negative. I don't know where this would fit. I think it is more information than control. Um, um, get the information. Like it's incredibly inconsistent. It's not unrealistic. It is confusing. Actually, I might. It was under control as well. This is actually both. Um, Technically, I'm just gonna use air quotes from the first instance. This also might can be better context in which to explain the problem. Um, That's a control issue. So there's two separate issues against stemming from the same problem. Um, Mass Effect 2 fixes some of these things, although it creates another issue because although there aren't as many brands, there's still a degree of. I mean, we'll see when we get to it, but I think it isn't until Mass Effect 3 that you actually have the ability to like fully customize your character's appearance, like in terms of like color schemes at least, which is like the key thing. In fact, I really wish they would have gone a little bit of an extra mile to standardized standardize the level of cosmetic customization you can make on weapons and armor across the trilogy. Now, there's at least one more information point. Um, I'm gonna um this is actually something I'm going to consider unacceptable. Not that it's just a lack of quality of life, which is like it's actively it's particularly for side quests is actively detrimental to the game. Um, I think that's kind of everything. So if we're gonna give this like a score, information is like definitely like in the negative. Like, there's like two bits of positive things, at least I've come up with so far. Like, there may be other things, and like, feel free, I guess, if you're watching this later, because I don't think anyone's like really commenting, to like suggest further positives on either axis. But so far, this game is really like -2 net. I make this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So it's -2 net for information. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Then positives. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's only a -1 for control. -1 for control. -2 for information. There's probably other positives and negatives, like probably positives, because I enjoyed the game overall. Like, it's not negative, it's not bad, and I mean that's kind of the tricky bit to the whole this style of reviewing is that we're kind of like, this isn't a review score. This isn't like this game is like a -3. There's no scale. There's no um. There's no like curve or whatever. Like, and it's hard to quantify like how good a good feature is. Like, I could give like multiple positives to certain things that are really good. And again, it's easier to kind of just gauge what's wrong with it because like I can explain what's wrong with it, and I can go into a lot of detail about what's wrong with it. Whereas there's a lot of things that are good, but like the combat's good, the combat system is good. Should I give that a separate positive just to you better convey the fact that I enjoyed this game overall? Like, but cover is part of the combat, so I'm not even sure that cover. I mean, the cover system works. It could be better. It could be like Mass Effect 2, but where you can actively kind of control when you're going into cover. But anyway, I've already spent like way too long talking about Mass Effect 2, one where should be going. But these are all valid points. This is also, again, one of the reasons why I am hesitant to. So we're gonna turn on our controller first and see if the problem with Mass Effect 1 recurs in Mass Effect 2. And if it does, I'm just going to assume that it's in Mass Effect 3 also, and I'm just going to have to keep the controller off until I start the game properly. And be absolutely baffled as to why. Also, I should make sure that my Word document's actually saved. That's because I'm not using freaking OneDrive, and you're expecting me to use OneDrive because you're a freaking idiot. Okay. I'm ready to. There you go. Also, I found out that all around, any characters you could romance in Mass Effect 2. If you don't romance them in Mass Effect 2, you cannot romance them in Mass Effect 3. and I think that's like fair enough for um that's fair enough. That's already a negative we have actually, but that's more for Mass Effect 3. So we'll get to it. That's going to be a control negative, almost certainly. Um, so uh, uh, so basically, I understand why if you don't romance like Jack, Miranda, Fane, uh, Jack, Miranda, Fane, characters who are not playable squad mates in free. Uh, Basically anyone but Talia and Garrus, who are the only stable characters in the entire trilogy. Like I can understand why you can't just turn around and romance them in free if you didn't romance them in two, because it would be a heck of a lot of work to suddenly they're already kind of shoehorning their characters into the game a little bit because they can spoilers they can die in this game. I'm not sure about Talia and Garrus being able to die. It's possible they can die. Um, it would be interesting because you're literally down a playable character. But yeah, like they're already in Mass Effect 3. They're effectively more side characters. Um, and if they die in 2, then they're just replaced with a generic character who I would assume Miranda's probably replaced by her by well, we're not gonna get into that direct spoiler there, but there's a character I would assume that she'd be replaced too, which would be actually interesting. Um, Especially considering that Miranda's probably like the most key character um, to the plot of Mass Effect 3, whereas everyone else is just kind of. I actually kind of wonder about Fane, because Fane is actually kind of a key character too. Not as much, but oh, there is definitely another character who would replace him. Like there's relatives to each of these characters, so and actually there's Morden. It's possible that the Krogans would be screwed. Not gonna go even further if Morden does not survive the final mission in Mass Effect 2. Um, it's interesting that PC isn't open. The original game was open, and I think it was although I think the purpose of the other PC was mostly just to advertise DLC, which does not exist in this version. It does exist, but is just part of the game here. Um, so thus far, I have no mods for Mass Effect 2. If there's anything that anyone recommends, you can put it in the comments. If it's doubtful at this point that anyone's gonna, you can mention in the chat or in the comments if things are still running, if we're still in the middle of Mass Effect 2. At this point, otherwise, I guess you can still recommend something, but it's probably gonna be too late. Um, for this particular playthrough. I looked through, I think, all of the story mods or story modifying mods for Legendary, and there's nothing that really has caught my eye. Um, there is a version of the expanded Galaxy mod that is being worked on for Legendary Edition and is technically out in some form. It may not be entirely inclusive, and I have mixed feelings about the Expanded Galaxy mod. eh, From what I remember of having played it back in my original playthrough, so like I appreciate its ambition, but there's definitely points where like there's at least one point where it was like really frustrating. Um, I guess like, I think you get to like play out a planetary evacuation scenario, and it's kind of cool, but it's also like just dreadfully employed and kind of frustrating. It's starting to try and legitimately review these things. Um, it'd be weird to have to like review a mod on top of reviewing the game. Like for Mass Effect One, it's literally just a quality of life feature, and I know that it's not present in the in the core game. Therefore, I can still give the core game the negative for uh, I mean, I could give a positive for the ability that you can make mods for this, but I don't think I'm going to. It probably would. It ended up being a control positive, I suppose, but I'm be kind of grasping for positives at that point a little bit. Also, you can't mod it on consoles, although this is very much a review of the PC version. Um, I think, at least particularly for Mass Effect 1, for 2 and 3, I'm using a controller. It's pretty much an identical experience to the console version at this point. Um, the minigames are, at least as far as I'm aware, exactly the same. So, um, the way you control them may be a little different if you're using a keyboard and mouse, but anyway. Um, Also, when we're navigating this, it's inverted. I don't know why it's inverted. Yeah, I'm pushing down to go up. Why is it inverted? Also, the buttons are weird. I think this is gonna have the exact same problem. Like the controls are literally wrong. Yeah, invert y-axis is off. That's interesting. It's level 55, but we know it was legendary, so it technically was, at least according to the legendary level scaling, it was level like 30 something. Yeah, X and A are swapped. We leave it at casual. Subtitles on. We'll probably get to restart the entire game if. This is our service history. Name, rank. Council seat is Odina. Council was saved. Kate was killed. Rex survived. We're a Paragon. He followed the Paragon path. Vanguard. Yeah, it is Vanguard. Okay. I would wish you, if you're Vanguard, you'd have the line of where when I'm pretty sure the controller's messed up, and we're going to turn it off and then exit the game entirely. You know what? I'm gonna skip. Can I skip the cutscenes?
Shepard did everything right. More than we could have hoped for.
Commander Shepard uncovered the truth.
And
Great.
still, it's not enough.
Unskippable cutscenes. Control negative.
War. No one wants to
I
admit,
think the first game may have had that too, so it's probably be control negative
They're
as well.
sending him to fight Geth. Geth. We both know they're not the real threat. The Reapers are still out there.
and it's up to us to stop them.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow him. He's a hero, a bloody icon. But he's just one man. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose him.
A month after the devastating attack on the Citadel, the galactic community struggles to rebuild. The Alliance fleet made a tremendous sacrifice to save the Council. The Council and their humanity membership in a percentage group. The Council is forced to respond to evidence that the Reapers, enormous machines, eradicate all current have returned to close the rumors. Council is no, no, come back! We'll read it again when we inevitably have to restart the game. One thing we may have actually lost if Commander Shepard had died in Mass Effect 1 probably would have been Martin Sheen as the elusive man.
Mission syncs active. Board is green. We are running silent.
Unless they could have actually afforded to hire him.
Our time. 4 days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't found any sign of Geth activity.
3 ships went missing here in the past month. Something happened to them.
My money's on slavers. The Terminus system is crawling with them.
Picking up something on the long-range scanner. Unidentified vessel. Looks like a cruiser.
Doesn't match any known signatures.
Cruiser is changing course. Now on intercept trajectory.
Can't be.
Probably have to get another bottle of water too.
There's no way a Geth ship could possibly.
It's not the Geth. Brace for evasive maneuvers.
Presley!
Kinetic barriers down.
Ensign!
Multiple hull breaches. Weapons
Not Ensign!
Somebody get that fire out.
Shepard!
Distress beacon is ready for launch.
Will the Alliance get here in time?
Yeah, the controls are literally wrong.
The Alliance won't abandon us. We just need to hold on. Get everyone onto the escape shuttle.
Joker's still in the cockpit. He won't abandon ship. I'm not leaving either.
Okay, so whoever we romanced is with us during the scene. That's kind of cool.
I need you to get the crew onto the evac shuttle. I'll take care of Joker.
Commander,
Ashley, go. Now.
aye aye.
I wonder who it is if you romance nobody. I wonder if they enhanced the cutscenes too. I think they're pre-rendered. Okay. Are we glitching out on top of everything else? Oh god. That means I can't even exit out the game normally. How is the game glitched? I hope it's not the save being corrupt. That means I need to freaking redo the entire ending. Which I wouldn't really mind, except that it's the entire freaking ending of the game. Yeah, I need to freaking get rid of the task managers in front of the. At least it remembers my settings. So I'll probably get to see this 3 times.
Shepard did everything right. More than we could have hoped for.
Commander Shepard uncovered the truth.
And still, it's not enough.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
But they're sending him to fight Geth. Geth. We both know they're not the real threat. The Reapers are still out there.
Okay, I'm not even gonna. You read the thing yourself. I'm not gonna read it for you.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never
Can you grab
accept
some
our
water?
help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow him. He's a hero, a bloody icon. But he's just one man. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose him.
Disengaging FTL drives. Emission sinks active. Board is green. We are running silent.
We're wasting our time. 4 days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't found any sign of Geth activity.
3 ships went missing here in the past month. Something happened to them.
My money's on slavers. The terminus system is crawling with them.
Picking up something on the long-range scanner.
Hope we're not going to sit through all those yet again.
Looks like a cruiser.
Because there has to be a save, and if I added... All I did was add
Cruiser is
weapons and armor.
now on intercept.
Maybe just armor to the game.
Stealth systems are engaged.
Like, I didn't...
There's no way a Geth ship could possibly
Like,
knock
for some reason it tweaks some variables, but it may have been because I was adding weapons to the buyback rather than, at least that first time I played it. I didn't try going to the vendor again to see if it also like reset him somehow.
Weapons offline. Somebody get that fire out.
But I also don't see how certain flags from Mass Effect 1 being messed up and in the wrong order would affect Mass Effect 2 this early in.
Shepard! Distress beacon is ready for launch. Will the Alliance get here in time?
Okay, controls are right, so that's...
The Alliance won't abandon us. We just need to hold on. Get everyone onto the escape shuttle.
Joker's still in the cockpit. He won't abandon ship. I'm not leaving either.
I need you to get the crew onto the evac shuttle. I'll take care of Joker.
Commander,
Ashley, go. Now.
aye aye.
Oh, so this makes a little more sense just technically. Like the interaction between them.
Go, go, go!
Hey, that's sexual harassment. Watch her, you're patting them as you're trying to... It's been a couple years since I played Mass Effect 2, so maybe it was this detailed originally. Oh, there we go. Maybe it was a controller thing. I don't know why that would cause this not to fail to load properly. This is a universal problem, at least with the Xbox Series controller. This is literally a control negative, and apparently it applies to the entire trilogy. So, I don't know, I need to make a... This is gonna be my first freaking note for the entire thing. Those are scrambled, and I mean, I don't the activate. I'm gonna say activate slash sync. I don't know, it's like May to June is one, or like it's early May, so it's May, June, July, August. 4 months later is my first note is a negative. Although there could be a positive for like the intro. I don't know. Again, I feel like
Mayday! 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 This is SSV Normandy! We've suffered heavy damage from an unknown enemy. Come on, baby, hold together. Hold together.
I might give a positive for like your romance option in an acts of few during the intro. That might be a positive. I'll go ahead and give it a positive because that's like something that stands out to me. Um, the, what here's what the default is. At this point, um, although not importing your save would be a thing for pre-Genesis, but DLC. So, but still, like the point still stands. Um, I might just say intro is awesome in general. I'll just make a note of that because we need to make a note of more positives. So there's two positives and one negative, and the negative is across all three games apparently. Oh god, Vernal looks in here. Also, the color scheme is different. Hey, Joker. I also like the realism of uh, only being able to hear your breath when you're out in space. And a little bit of like ambient creaking. Like yeah, you can kind of hear like generic space noise. You always have generic space noise. Um, I think the only purpose of generic space noise is to sort of um, not have a silence. Because silence is weird. Like there's always like in real life, there's always like right now my air conditioner's on. I can hear that in the background. So in order to like immerse you into something, there always has to be some kind of background noise. And because you're on a spaceship, like what is the background noise going to be? Space air conditioning, like there probably is some kind of space air conditioning going on. There's definitely a hum of an engine of some kind. Um, I think particularly since Star Trek: The Next Generation, I'm not sure about the original series. I think Star Trek: The Next Generation may have been the first one to really introduce the space background noise. Which this sounds a lot like. There's like the space noise. There's a little bit of a creak, like a subtle creak, kind of a Silent Hillish, kind of eerie effect, which may not entirely make sense. Like it's very subtle. Yeah, there's kind of like a. There we go, that little thing right there. It might make a little bit of sense that you can hear it. Because like you're standing, like regardless of anything, you're standing on. Oh yeah, that's creaking there. It's kind of like a dock kind of a sound. Yep. Yeah, that's definitely creaking noises. Um, but I mean, again, it helps to add to the atmosphere, and you can still the breathing's gone, but you can still hear that background, this probably score, I guess, maybe a little bit. Um, there's definitely an Akira Yamaoka kind of design to the background noise here. I like there's a quote from Akira Yamaoka, which is that silence is also a sound. Um, which may just mean that he's a big Simon and Garfunkel fan, just like Warden. Um, but but I think what he means by that is that well, a couple things. One is that um, particularly in a horror game, just having sound go away is unnerving for the reasons I just mentioned. Um, again, like the sound is too much to make me really focus. So sound like even now that the air conditioning is cut off, and if NVIDIA broadcast working, you couldn't even tell that. Like I could hear, even with the screen door closed, I could hear the sounds of like crickets and cicadas, probably mostly crickets, like various bugs. Like I'm next to a forest. Um, so I can hear like various bugs kind of chirping. So there are also certain types of cicadas. It's not like the circadian cicadas. I don't think we have, at least not this time of year. That like we have like the like I can hear the sounds of basically night time outside. So like and then there's sounds of cars and you know kind of no matter where you are, there's some kind of sound going on usually. Sound of a neighbor walking around upstairs. Um, but yeah, so silence can be kind of a little unnerving because and then there's kind of relative silence, which right now relative silence, like only background noise, and just reduced and minimalistic in general can also be unnerving and you know going from the absolute chaos of explosions and everything all over the place to just breathing literal atmosphere um, of the or and I can't quite make that the sound, but the kind of the space sound as I describe it, um, um, and then just occasionally a little bit of creaking, a little bit of very subtle creaking from time to time, and just the sense that the ship is kind of falling apart. Um, but not it's whatever sounds I guess the idea probably is we're kind of giving you the gist of the idea that there's no sound now that you're kind of in space basically you're relatively speaking um you know but we're not going to completely cut away all sound. There's obviously the sound of breathing is definitely like the big thing, but obviously like you have atmosphere in your suit so you can hear that. I think the other thing would probably it might be like a justification for the creaking noises is about that you're literally standing on it and whatever noise is coming from it is being conducted up through your suit to some extent. Um, but anyway, um, and like the sound like right now is probably could even be considered just the atmosphere being pumped through your suit. Anyway, I could probably I might make a note of that, like great atmosphere during the spacewalk segment. I mean, make a let's say sound design. This is probably go under information. Like I'd say, like story is probably to be integrated into um basically across the two axes. Um, because story ultimately falls into the category of information and control. Control is like how your control would be like a negative for the Reaper for the Rachni, excuse me. In Max Effect 3, that would be a control negative because your choice doesn't really matter. Therefore, you have no control over the outcome of that choice. Um, that's definitely some creaking there. Um, so control is how the story operates on an interactive level, and information is just how it's presented. And if it's conveyed well, or if there are just problems or plot holes or what have you. or clunky dialogue. It doesn't quite get across the information properly of what's going on and whatever. You get my point. Hopefully.
Come on, Joker. We have to get out of here.
No, I won't abandon the Normandy. I can still save her.
The Normandy's lost. Going down with the ship won't change that.
Yeah, okay. Help me up. They're coming around for another attack. Watch the arm.
Well, good thing we're wearing a spacesuit. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Crap. We literally just played it. If you want to see the interactive time up here, I think I played through it and,
Commander Shepard has been recovered. The Lazarus Project will proceed as planned.
But anyway, if we're gonna like remake the Mass Effect trilogy? Let's just talk about remaking the Mass Effect trilogy. It would be interesting if we actually did kill off Shepard in Mass Effect, or like as a TV series even. It would be interesting to like actually go with the original plan of killing off Commander Shepard. It probably worked better in the TV series technically. Like we just have, but my idea would be to actually introduce the elusive man at the end of the first season. Um, of of the show, so that what? Oh dear freaking lord! I can customize the appearance. Hit import a code. Because I want to modify the appearance. I don't want to. Well, shit. I don't know what the hell to do. What's the point of having a code for the appearance? When you can't actually input a different code. Or... okay. Let me see if I still have my save editor. There we go. General. Okay, there's the identity code. Can we control C that? There we go. Hooray for save editors. They either give you items that you want, or give you the appearance that you want to start out with, and then edit from there. That could be it. I might make a note of that. Like, is it worth a full negative? Maybe not. And that's also like where my whole like Werner has the idea of aggregate to sort of balance out that, to basically there are little little nitpicks or little tiny things that maybe don't matter a whole lot, but are still kind of worth mentioning, and still are bad. And basically, it is that if there are enough of these little negative things, I don't know if he has like a solid idea of like when a bunch of aggregate negatives become a full negative. I might just put this as a minor gripe. I'm not sure if we're gonna do like actual like scores. The inability to like this is very weird. The inability to edit Shepard's appearance aside from starting over from scratch. Imported appearance. Or copy pasting. I'm just gonna say character code. I don't think this would be inaccurate. This is just a gripe. I'm noting the gripe. This may be a whole other section of the review. Also, I heard from Jesse Gender, and maybe she just remembered incorrectly, that you could actually change the gender or the gender of Shepard between games. I don't think you can here. At all. There's no option for that. And I didn't think you could do that. I mean, you could probably use a save editor to, like, switch to the genders between games. And that's entirely possible. It may break the game a little bit, because, like, you romance Ashley, and now you're female, so, like, how... How does that work? Excuse me. This is the last one, so... Anyway, if you want to give them a different... You would be giving them a different hairstyle, which is my main thing I want to try and do. Although I might go with the color first. So... pink doesn't look that bad on him. Is just coming out as a bi-gender. Where his hair didn't look pink before, so he just made his hair pink as a side effect of the Lazarus Project. My canonical idea would be that he changed his hair between, the few months after the original game. I'm gonna give him a mohawk. I wish we had like kind of... It's a kind of mohawk. I mean, this is probably I don't know if I ever style my hair like this. It also would probably be a form of cultural appropriation, so... Although, like, in the future... This is kind of cool. That might be where I'm inclined to go. A little bit. I want him to have longer hair. I know there's a mod that like, adds hairstyles. Or changes the existing hairstyles. I mean, this is where I'm kind of heading, although he might be really mimicking Jack a little bit too much. I don't know if he's going to be dyeing his hair color. His beard might be a little darker just to reflect the fact that mine is a little darker. That's weird, like his eyebrows are... It's weird, the goatee is like... Up here, it's also possible he's... Like, this is the only way to make his like, facial hair like thick is to go with like literally... I don't know if it'd be considered a soul patch. Might be a soul patch. Although I think soul patch is like just the middle part. Like it's like just a half goatee. I think this is actually that's not like it's still half of a soul patch, but like, the facial hair is always like more feels stubbly rather than like a full. Like it's probably the closest. Hair for femship. As 20 female hairstyles. Because of course we need more hairstyles for femship. Well, it's also have a couple of requests to convert the mod to Legendary Edition 1 and 2. I decided not to proceed with that. Because men don't need more hairstyles. There's hairstyles are for femship. There's a Fallout hairstyle. There's the Leon hairstyle. There's dreadlocks. A lot of these are like much more like detailed volumetric hair. These are like individual things, and I think it's by a particular modder who. Damn it. I don't know if there's an autosave here. Shit. Then I have to restart the entire freaking game yet again because I want him to have a different look, and a save editor could not fix that. Damn it. I won't even know if the mod's working properly until we get here. I should have prepared more. I am. And we can stick with this. It looks like we're just preparing to emulate Jack a little bit. Oh, Jax looks a little different. I can wait until Mass Effect 3 to like give him or them if we want to use gender neutral language. I mean, I'm personally a he they. You know, mostly because I'm used to being referred to by my biological gender, having been referred to it that way for almost 37 years now. Um, I am neither offended nor offended by it. I do not find it offensive or distasteful or weird. Um, I do find she kind of weird to use to refer to me. Um, Even though, like, you know, a similar argument can be made for using she, because, like, I'm kind of both in a way. Um, it's just kind of what I'm comfortable with. You know, is I think the fact that I'm uncomfortable with the idea of being referred to as she has might say something about my about me in a way, or my psychology, or repressed transphobia. I don't know what you call it. Um, I guess it is kind of a form of transphobia. Um, in terms of like a fear of being considered trans. Which is why I'm kind of a little iffy on the idea of bi-gender and gender fluid being considered trans. Um, like I get the intent of there being like a trans umbrella, but I'm getting into like kind of you know, potentially controversial opinions, but this pertains to myself, so um, like most people when they think of trans, they think of people who have, you know, either transitioned physically or are in the process of that. You know, and I do not consider, you know, that's not applicable to me. Now, I suppose there could be a degree, there could be degrees of it as well. You know, that people who are more willing to present themselves as uh, either androgynous or feminine from time to time could consider themselves a little more trans, but I'm, you know, perfectly okay with presenting, you know, the way I am. Uh, because, you know, my justification is that, you know, my biological gender is still part of me, and it's still part of my overall identity. And I'm under no obligation to present myself any differently just because my identity is more in between. Um, but anyway, um, Now Shepard, on the other hand, has complete total obligation to. I suppose in terms of continuity, I don't know. I guess if we're gonna change the beard, we could just go with, shave the mustache off. If we're gonna have just sort of revising their look. I guess it'd probably be a way I think of Soul Patch, or even this. But I wish there was like a full goatee option. And again, there's a mod for that. It's weird that everything else, even the stuff that's like shaped. Like there is like I guess the pencil mustache. I mean, it's what it's called. Like this is, yeah, like this here is as far as we can go. Like, no matter what color we have it, it's still like very stubbly, which is kind of weird. Or like my color was actually kind of a little bit redhead-ish. Like, if it was like this, I don't know why I had it there. Wait, what was that, Rob? That's the have there. There we go. I think it's gonna be changed to this. Now he looks a little less like me in general, without like the hair. There's only like so much I can do. Also change your class. There's L5N and L5X. I think armor training doesn't matter. Probably too Vanguard. I mean, that's already kind of what we were. What the heck's an engineer? Oh, basically like a tally type character. I also think Vanguard is probably like the most. Like, I don't know if there's any character in a party that is like a Vanguard. I'd love to be able to play Mass Effect 1 as a Mass Effect 2 and free Vanguard. That would be kind of cool. They had to like completely redesign the cover system and like level design to sort of accommodate for that, but like that would be kind of awesome. I also think there's definitely arguments to be made for preserving the essence of Mass Effect 1 in terms of gameplay, and like just having a sense of the evolution of the gameplay of the series overall. But I love Vanguard. So the achievements from the first game allow me to have um, to select one of these so I don't get all of them. Now, okay. I'm going to select one of them and see if. Nope, there is absolutely no indication. That is that I think it's that's not even a nitpick. That's like again, this is a minor negative, but relatively speaking, but it's worthy of noting. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with the aggregate idea or not. Like at the very least, when we get to the conclusion, I will decide. Um, but again, this is not necessarily meant to be a score. This is just meant to be these are the positives of the game. These are the negatives. I might be focusing a little bit more on the negatives because once again, they're just kind of you can actually critique negatives, whereas positives are well, you know, there's degrees to which you can dig into positives too. But you know, I enjoy the problem solving. And this is an easy problem to solve. Have a little info bar like I can't even really point to it. Like you know, like down like below his shoulders, like in the bottom. Like you have some screen real estate. Like heck, if you don't want to cover up Shepard, you could like put like a little tooltip, like in the bottom left corner. Like there's room down there, or even like just below all the options. There's room. There's like so many spots where you can put a actual description of what each of these do. This is definitely information negative. Like this is the very definition of information negative. Dang it, like I'm like periodically running out of ink. Should that be an information negative or a... Dang it. Should that be an information negative or a control negative? I mean, if I guess it would be a control negative to real life. They have no control over whether or not it will actually write in ink. Although this is an addition, this may be an addition to the Legendary Edition, and they couldn't be bothered to like code in a new info box. But they have this whole screen here, so I knew I should have bought new pens while I was at the store. With respect to bonus powers, every bonus power ranked. So we know which one's the best one. Fortification is the least one. These are like come from completing loyalty missions. Apparently in the base game. It's possible we'll get like a second one, I guess. So we'll have like 2 bonus powers total. Kind of neat. We're getting extra bonus. I mean, at least I hope this is an extra one. Because I like the idea of the... So which one's the best one? Like, fortification. Okay, so... It seems like a pointless reward. It's a defensive ability, like shield boost and barrier, granting Shepard a large bonus to armor that makes it more durable. Or on fortification. This is the worst one. The problem is when compared to the other defensive bonus powers, and possibly Sentinel's tech armor, fortification doesn't benefit from any research projects and thus cannot be buffed. Parallel being a combat power instead of a tech or biotic power. So next one is Shredder ammo, which we get from Bane. It is the first free ammo powers that affect Shepard's bullets and makes them hit a lot harder, literally shredding up Shepard's enemies, the organic ones at least. This is particularly important against living things. Damage bonus power provides is huge, but it has so many caveats. The enemy must be organic, the enemy must have no armor or shields or barriers, while still a useful power, it just pales in comparison to others. So you have the Inferno Grenade, which we actually can't get. Either we didn't meet the requirements, or it's just not one we get from bonuses from the first game. It's also from a DLC character, so... It's also underwhelming because the mission is to complete too. For stasis, you can complete the Liara Tassani quests. I actually wonder how this works exactly. Like, I doubt you unlock all of these by doing the loyalty missions, like one by one. So, but yeah, stasis also means that also we don't have stasis here, so we don't have the option. Neuroshock. Because a photos fall over, instantly affecting the target, making them easily take it out, since you get double damage against them. So basically, it's knocking them prone. Um, it also instantly kills an unarmored husk. Dominate, we don't have here, so let's just skip that. Slam, and welcome to the jam! It recharges extremely quickly, and leaves enemies on the floor ripe for picking up. But it has a greater damage element. We don't get energy drain. No, we do. Okay. It shreds the defenses and health of synthetic enemies. If used against a shielded enemy, it will drain that shield and replenish ours. That could be cool. So energy drain could be good. Neuroshock. Slam sounds a little bit better than Neuroshock. There's warp ammo. Deals extra damage. It gains a bonus against enemies currently affected by bad powers. It also makes enemy barriers melt. There aren't very many relative rarity. We don't get flashbang grenades. Gef shield boost is that is the number 4 most powerful. It gives additional one of the evolutions for Gef shield boost. So we won't have this immediately. It is that you give an additional boost to weapon damage in exchange for not taking a larger defensive boost. I think there's like a terminal where we get to select these from. Yeah, I think that's how it works. If I'm remembering correctly. So it gives it an additional boost to weapon damage in exchange for not taking a larger defensive boost. Okay, so that could be good for us. It allows us to be more aggressive, but we also have more reliable shields. Armor-piercing ammo is the number 3. While barriers and shields have multiple methods of dealing with them, armor is a little bit trickier, and heavily armored enemies can be very tough to take down. Faces armor-piercing ammo is one of the best bonus powers in the game. So we got barrier, which I believe we already have. Or we might not in this version. We had barrier in the original game, but we might not here. It might be special. It might be a special ability that we unlock. I don't think I use barrier that often because it's kind of a I think shield boost is also kind of a returning ability. So like if we go with barrier or shield boost, then I end up using shield boost a little more. Although I think later I realized that barrier kind of replaces shield boost, or shield boost you can't really use shield boost after you use barrier, so they don't really stack. Um, so it's long duration and short recharge time. Very possible to keep your barrier up at all times, ability by breed. It is the defensive power for the higher difficulties, although we're on casual, so. Then there's Reeve, which we do have. That's the single most good um the best power to have. So Reeve is the very offensively geared biotic ability and has no into boons. It shares warp's ability to melt armor and barriers. Additionally, prevents enemies from healing. Great for taking down enemy Krogans. And possibly best of all, when used against organics specifically, will give Shepard a big boost to their health. Their maximum health will increase and instantly get a heal and start regenerating over time. Reeve is a perfect blend of offensive flexibility and pragmatic defensiveness. Yeah, we're probably going with Reeve. Because I mean, Slam is kind of cool, but like Reeve has like kind of a lot of the benefits of everything. It's kind of a jack of all trades.
He's reacting to outside stimuli, showing an awareness of his surroundings. Oh my God, Miranda, I think he's waking up.
Damn it, Wilson. He's not ready yet. Give him the sedative.
Shepard, don't try to move. Just lie still. Try to stay calm.
Heart rate's still climbing. Brain activity is off the charts. Stats pushing into the red zone. It's not working.
Another dose. Now.
Heart rate dropping. Stats falling back into normal range. That was too close. We almost lost him.
I told you your estimates were off. Run the numbers again.
Wake up, Commander. Shepard, do you hear me? Get out of that bed now. This facility is under attack. Shepard, your scars aren't healed, but I need you to get moving. This facility is under attack. There's a pistol in the locker on the other side of the room. Hurry! Grab the pistol and armor from the locker. You don't have time to wait around, Shepard. Grab your weapon and armor.
This pistol doesn't have a thermal clip.
It's a med bay. We'll get you a clip from... Damn it! Those canisters by the door are going to... We'll keep your head down, Shepard. Shield yourself from the blast. Someone's hacking security.
You have the ability
Look for a thermal clip for the
to.
pistol.
This is probably gonna be a control positive here. We're gonna add a positive. I'm sorry, I'm pausing the game, but I mean, I kind of have to regardless. Damn it. Again, control negative to this pen. This is like, I think, the only functional pen I have. Improvement over ME1's sticky cover. Damn it, what the hell is wrong with this pen? Is there just a problem with like the ink flow in general in this pen? It's not like actually running out of ink, it's just that it does not replenish. I'm writing faster than it can get the ink to the pen. And I think it's, I mean, granted, there are pros and cons to manual cover versus sticky cover. Because like sticky cover, I mean, like frees up control options for other things. I mean, it's most kind of obvious. The other thing is that you don't have to think about getting into cover. You just head to the cover and automatically take it. Um, I had to, say that I kind of feel like Mass Effect 1 Legendary is at least a little more, um, a little better, a little bit of an improvement. Yeah, this probably is not a save that we can go back and edit our character, so we friggin' restart the game to make use of. And actually, when I see this hairstyle on the back, I really don't like it. I uh, it feels like a. Okay, if I'm gonna do this, I need to do it now. Um, here. A lot of these are for friendship. Wait, there's nothing on a freaking. There's a transparency fix. I don't really notice any difference. There's a little difference here. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit more of a proper goatee. I'll probably stick with what we have right now. I mean, there's one from the month before. That's what I was looking at. This is Mass Effect hair mods. This is probably not for friggin' Legendary Edition. Damn it. Okay, apparently there's the creator of these hair mods has given permission to port them to Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and they believe there's an effort underway to do so, but they're not involved, so they can't really give an update. Um, so that's nice. Girls play it. Girls play it. Girl plays game. So apparently I couldn't change the hairstyle if I wanted to. I just don't really like the look of it, at least from the back, which is what we're going to be seeing the most of. So I'm actually going to want him to wear a helmet most, or to want to have helmet on. And you can also walk out of cover, so it's you still have the option to just walk out of cover. You don't have to use the A button to enter and exit cover naturally, or you can just kind of walk or like hit back basically, and there can be a degree of preference to it, but not sure what to think of limited ammo.
Looks like they set up a barricade to try holding the mechs off.
And the ability to vault. Probably just add that to that could be another positive. I mean, if we're going to be I think that's a separate positive. I'm writing in a leisurely pace and it's still. I'm not sure what to categorize the change from infinite ammo with overheating to limited ammo. I know Warrior has an issue with it, but I'm kind of neutral to it. I mean, it would be kind of neat if the idea of, weapons of just, cooldown were just carried for the entire trilogy. But at the same time, I don't really think it severely hurts the game either. So, yeah. We have the ability to reave. Oh yeah, we had the ability to reave.
Keep moving, we need to get to the shuttles.
That's actually gonna be a little OP for the start of the game. We have... we don't have a shotgun yet. Damn it! Our iconic ability.
Shepard, security mechs are closing in on your position. Take cover.
This is unintrusive, relatively unintrusive. It's not quite as immersive as
Nice work, Shepard. Coast is clear.
it charges Y. I actually have squad points here. I like the leveling system a little better here. It's a bit more streamlined and actually, it tells you what to do, each advancement does. But each point you assign is more meaningful. I kind of prefer that. Like, that's one of the things I can praise Fallout for with it is that while the perk system is rigid, it means in overall design, I do like the idea of each advancement you make being meaningful. Rather than, okay, it's a little bit better, it's a little bit better, it's a little bit better. You know, with like milestones to like unlock different kinds of, unlocking things or whatever, like lockpick. Like, what does one point in lockpicking do? It isn't until you reach a milestone that you're able to unlock. You're able to pass the skill gate. And then like Fallout 4 does level gates too. Although I kind of like the level gates a little bit Like if you're going to do skill gates, level gates help because it means that you're not just like maxing out your lock picking skill right away because you can't. Yeah. Whereas thinking like this, you can just like, okay, we're just gonna go all out into electronics and decrypting because for every single character who has that, so we can switch up the squad, um, when we want to. Even though you have to like have like one of 3 different characters in your squad every time. So like our charge is gonna be our bread and butter. Assault Master is gonna like affect everything. Let's just do that. I don't know why you would auto level up Mass Effect 2.
Don't waste time. I can't keep the mix distracted for long. More reinforcements heading your way. Grab the Here come the mechs. Use the grenade launcher to take them out.
They've seen it.
Take the elevator down 1 floor.
They actually launched 2 grenades.
Hurry! Get to the door! Run! You're doing fine, Shep. Head to the next room and I'll try to meet you. Shepard, read me. I've got men closing in on my position.
Rerouting power.
Log update. The cost of this project is astronomical. Over 4 billion credits so far. But nobody seems to care that we've gone over budget. I don't know where the boss gets all this money. Maybe it's better not to know. I just wish he'd kick a little more in my direction once in a while.
We actually have to like.
Progress is slow, but subject shows signs of recovery. Major organs are again functional, and there are signs of rudimentary neurological activity. In an effort to accelerate the process, we've moved from simple organic reconstruction of the subject to biosynthetic fusion. Initial results show promise.
I like the bowl cut. Look. I like to.
Log update. I can't figure Miranda out. As project director, she should be ecstatic at all the progress we've made. But she's still the same old ice queen. Maybe she's worried Shepard might become the new favorite. Or maybe she is just a pure cold-hearted bitch.
Ooh, pretty.
Hostile! Shepard, what the hell? Stun him! sure we're still a work in progress.
Are you with Miranda?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot this is all new to you right now. I'm Jacob Taylor. I've been stationed here for—
Hostiles detected.
Damn it! Things must be worse than I thought if Miranda's got you running around. I'll fill you in, but we better get you to the shuttle first.
I know this isn't the best time, but I'm sick of stumbling around when I don't know what's going on.
Fair enough. I'll give you the quick version. You and your ship were attacked and destroyed. You were killed. Dead as dead can be when they brought you here. Our scientists spent the last 2 years putting you back together. You've been—
Are we talking Dornell dead or
time. Welcome back to your life.
I'm having some trouble wrapping my head around this.
Yeah, I can imagine. The Alliance officially declared you killed in action. The whole galaxy thinks you're dead. And if we don't get to those shuttles, they'll be right.
Were there any other survivors from the Normandy?
I'll tell you what. You help me finish off these mechs, and I'll play 20 questions with you all day. We're low on thermal clips, but I'm a biotic. Just give the order when you want me to hit them with the good stuff.
it was Sydney Ariano. Ability to use biotics in general is that's interesting. I forgot about that.
Okay. I promised I'd answer your questions. What do you want to know?
You said they spent 2 years rebuilding me? How bad were my injuries?
I'm no doctor, but it was bad. When I first saw you, you were nothing but meat and tubes. Anywhere else, they'd have put you in a coffin. But Project Lazarus was different. Cutting-edge technology.
What do you mean? Cloning? Cybernetics?
I don't know the details. You'd have to ask the scientists. But I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
hey, Ellie.
they wanted to bring you
You
back
finally decided
exactly
to come
as
out
you
and
were.
see me.
You're still you. You just might have a few extra bits and pieces now.
What can you tell me about the project? Were there other test subjects?
Project Lazarus only had one subject. The whole point was to bring you back. Just you. Even that was a challenge. 2 years. All the top scientists. The best technology money could buy.
Do you know anything about this attack? Who's behind it? What they're after?
Damned if I know. I was getting ready for some shut-eye, then bam! Bunch of explosions. Next thing I know, every damn mech in the place starts shooting at us. I'm guessing it had to be an inside job. You'd need top security access to hack all the mechs.
The last thing I remember is the Normandy blowing up. Did anyone else make it?
Just about everybody survived. A few servicemen from the lower decks didn't get out. Navigator Presley was killed by an explosion. But everyone else, including the non-Alliance crew, the Asari, Liara, and the Quarian, they all made it out alive.
Do you know what any of them are doing now?
I don't know, Commander. It's been 2 years. They've moved on. Left the Alliance. Could be anywhere.
They were my team. If they knew I was alive, they'd come back.
Maybe you can track them down after we get off the station. If we get off the station.
What's your job here?
Depends on who you ask. Technically, I'm Miranda's top lieutenant. But I'm just a soldier. I served 5 years in the Alliance before this. Now I'm in charge of the station's security. Usually a lot more dull than this. Normally I don't fire my gun unless it's target practice.
When I first woke up, someone named Miranda was talking to me over the radio. We lost contact just before I ran into you.
Miranda Lawson is the station's ranking officer. She led the Lazarus team. It was her job to bring you back to life, no matter what. Should have guessed she'd try to save you.
Bring me back to life.
You said you lost contact. Could you tell what was happening?
There was some gunfire and an explosion right before I lost her.
She knows how to take care of herself. But I hope she's okay.
What's the quickest way to those shuttles?
Depends where the mechs are thickest. It's probably best if we...
Check. Anyone on this frequency? Anybody still alive out there? Hello?
Wilson, this is Jacob. I'm here with Commander Shepard. Just took out a wave of mechs over in D-Wing.
Shepard's alive? How the hell? Never mind. You need to get him out of there.
Sounds a little disappointed there.
Roger that, Wilson. Stay on this frequency.
I think I remember a Wilson checking on me one time when I woke up.
That's him. He's the chief medical tech. Answers directly to Miranda. Come on. The service tunnels are this way.
I'm your father, not a bathtub. Okay, we can't go that way. That's good game design. It's kind of sacrificing information for control. A little bit.
We've been spotted.
Damn it, Wilson. This room is crawling with mechs.
I got used to not having sticky cover. I think it would have been nice if there was an option to turn off sticky cover. Or to like have sticky cover rather than as an alternative to manual cover.
Wilson, find us another route out of here. Preferably one that doesn't lead straight into an enemy squad.
Just keep moving toward the control room. Don't get pinned down. I'll see what I can do. Oh god. They found me. Help!
Wilson, where are you?
Server room B! Hurry! They're out of control! Oh god! I'm hit! They shot me!
Hey, listen, some more.
Construction of subject is complete, but we still need to evaluate all mental and neurological functions. Our orders were clear. Make Commander Shepard who he was before the explosion. The same mind, the same morals, the same personality. If we alter his identity in any way, if he's somehow not the man he used to be, the Lazarus Project will have failed. I refuse to let that happen.
Shepard! Down here! Bastards got me in the leg!
We need to get off this station.
I'm not going anywhere till someone fixes my leg.
Should be some Metagel in the first aid station on the wall. Hopefully there's enough to get him up and moving again.
Grab the Metagel from the first aid station on the wall.
Wilson's hurt bad. He needs help.
Huh. We just did that. Yeah, ahead of myself. Okay.
Thanks, Shepard. Never thought you'd save my life. Guess that makes us even now, huh? I thought maybe I could shut down the security mechs, but whoever did this fried the whole system. Completely irreversible.
What who that could be?
We didn't ask what you were doing. Why do you even have security mech clearance? You were in the bio wing.
Weren't you listening? I came here to try and fix this. Besides, I was shot. How do you explain that?
You're all strangers to me. Let's get someplace safe, then we'll sort out whose fault it is.
Right, Shepard. We need to find Miranda. We can't leave her behind.
Forget about Miranda. She was over in D-Wing. The mechs were all over that sector. There's no way she survived.
A bunch of mechs won't drop Miranda. She's alive.
Then where is she? Why haven't we heard from her? There are only two possible explanations. She's either dead, or she's a traitor.
Or you're the traitor.
Then why did you wake me up and warn me about the attack?
Okay, maybe she's not a traitor, but that doesn't change the facts. We're here, she's not. We need to save ourselves. The shuttle bay is only a few... Overload the canisters to clear a path to the shuttles.
These mechs don't know when to quit.
Yeah, no, you don't need to move. He's actually a squad member.
That's it. Let's get out of here.
Okay, we took him down, but this is getting tense. Shepard, if I tell you who we work for, will you trust me?
This really isn't the time, Jacob.
We won't make it if he's expecting a shot in the back.
If you want to piss off the boss, it's your ass, Jacob.
The Lazarus Project, the program that rebuilt you. It's funded and controlled by Cerberus.
Never heard of them. Why is it even an option considering we've imported the save?
I wiped out my share of Cerberus projects when I was a Spectre. Back then, they were trying to kill me. Why the change of heart?
Those answers are way above my pay grade. But basically, things change. The Alliance declared you dead. They gave up. Cerberus spent a fortune to bring you back. Look, I'd be suspicious too. But right now, we have to work together. I thought you deserved to know what's what. Once we're off the station, I'll take you to the elusive man. He'll explain everything. I promise.
Elusive Man? Is he in charge of all this?
Yeah. That's not his real name, of course. Nobody knows who he really is.
It was a code name the Alliance used for him. Kinda stuck.
I don't care what they did or what you say. I'm not working with terrorists.
You can tell it to the boss. But after we've saved our butts. We're almost at the shuttle.
Sure, if I would call them terrorists. Terrorists have a political agenda. Cerberus, as of yet, does not have a political agenda. Or they do not use violence for a political agenda. That's, I think, would... Cerberus uses as of yet, they're not really using violence. They're just sort of unethically experimenting on people. Yeah, I would not define Cerberus as terrorists. I should probably want to get charge up. Maybe the hairstyle will grow on me a little bit, but I kind of doubt it. Yeah.
Engaged.
Really?
Can't get a lock.
Here's our first of, I think, 3 different hacking mini games. What? Huh? Okay, there we go. What is this, damn it. I think it's a pretty good mini game. Like, you can kind of guess a little bit which ones connect. Not really. I take it back. It's bad game design. Memory minigame is, if I let it call it.
Test subject has been recovered, but the damage is far worse.
Now, we're going in circles.
In addition to the expected burns and internal injuries from the explosion, subject has suffered significant cellular breakdown due to long-term exposure to vacuum and sub-zero temperatures. Despite the extent of the physical trauma, Wilson assured
Wait, what? Huh? What's... Oh my god, is it... Oh, our controller's been desynced. Randomly. Is it gonna regain the sync? Please let it regain the sync. Okay. Okay. This is an information problem right here. Okay. I think we might be able to go. Okay.
Come on, through here. We're almost at the... Miranda, but you were...
Dead?
What the hell are you doing?
My job. Wilson betrayed us all.
You should have taken him alive. See what he knew.
Too risky. I've put too much time and effort bringing you back to life to let you get killed now.
You really think Wilson's capable of that?
Not anymore.
Even if you're sure, did he deserve that welcome?
He sabotaged the security systems, killed my staff, and he would have killed us.
You sure about that, Miranda? We've known Wilson for years.
Huh?
What if you're wrong?
I'm never wrong. I thought you'd have learnt that by now, Jacob.
This is technically Renegade, but I think Shepard's kind of smart. This isn't really a matter of Renegade or Paragon. It's a matter of being relatively intelligent.
I had a feeling Wilson was just looking for a chance to shoot me in the back.
Good instincts. Some people are far too trusting to ever see that coming. Come on, let's grab this shuttle and get out of here. My boss wants to speak to you.
You mean the elusive man? I know you work for Cerberus.
Ah, Jacob. I should have known your conscience would get the better of
I'm
you.
sure that's quite what he's saying. It's a little bit of Torah back there.
Well, since we're getting everything out in the open, is there anything else you want to ask before we go, Commander?
Like, what I have my shipper say is, I knew there was something a little shifty about it, or something like, it's like he was suspicious. He was very sus, as the kids like to say.
Convenient that you show up as we're leaving. Where were you during the attack?
Besides trying to save your life, Wilson figured out I was helping you and he sent an army of mechs to take me out. I got here as soon as I could. Probably a little too soon if you ask Wilson.
What about the rest of the people on the station?
This is the evac area. If they're not here now, they're not coming.
We can't leave without knowing for sure. We need to go back and look.
Don't you get it? The only one worth saving is you. Everyone else is expendable.
She's right. We all knew the risks when we signed up. Without you, there's no point to any of this.
Where are we going?
Another Cerberus facility. The elusive man is waiting for you there.
You're the Lazarus Project's director, aren't you?
That's right. I put 2 years of my life into this project. Into you.
What does Cerberus want from me?
Maybe you should ask the elusive man when you meet him. He poured virtually unlimited resources into Lazarus. Obviously, he has some kind of plan for you.
I've had enough of this station to last a lifetime.
Or 2, in your case. Come on.
We're in the middle of a cutscene.
Before you meet with the elusive man, we need to ask a few questions to evaluate your condition.
Come on, Miranda. More tests? Shepard took down those mechs without any trouble. That has to be good enough.
It's been 2 years.
Ellie, no!
The elusive man needs to
Stop
know.
wanting to play while I'm playing a game.
Ask the questions.
I mean, most of the time I am playing a game, but still, on the Tumblr scales difficulty, I can't imagine that it is.
Did you say 2 years? I've been gone that long?
2 years and 12 days. And you were on an operating table for most of it.
The sooner we start, the sooner we can be done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you were a spacer kid, raised mostly on one ship or another. You enlisted and won a medal fighting Batarians during the Skillian Blitz. Do you remember that?
A lot of lives depended on me holding that position. I did what I had to.
However you want to put it, it was damn impressive. I had friends who were there. Satisfied, Miranda?
Almost. Let's try something more recent. Vermeer, where you destroyed Saren's cloning facility. You had to leave one of your squad behind to die in the blast.
Lieutenant Caden Alenko was killed in action. It was your call. Why did you leave him behind?
I left a friend to die that day, and I didn't do it casually. But I had to save as many people as I could. Caden gave his life for the rest of the team. Without him, I couldn't have stopped Saren. He died a hero.
I understand, Commander. And I wasn't judging your decision. Everybody at Cerberus knows that cloning facility had to be destroyed.
There are other tests we really should run.
Come on, Miranda. Enough.
Just kind of give a baseline for what you're,
and I can vouch for Shepard's combat.
or at least what Shepard is now.
I suppose you're right. We'll have to hope the elusive man accepts our little field test as evidence enough.
I do imagine that his interactions with the elusive man are going to be a little more renegade-ish, which is actually kind of what Zandra was.
The man is waiting for you in the other room.
And I think we might need to call it a night. I guess it's a pretty good stopping point. This is actually our first hard save, okay. Hopefully by the time Mass Effect 3, we get around to Mass Effect 3, there'll be like more hero mods for Shepard. For male Shepard. I can't imagine like what hairstyle I would give him in free besides the ones that are made available by mods. Of course, a lot more people are enthusiastic about femme Shep having more hairstyles than male Shep, which is incredibly. I don't know what to call it. It's a form of sexism, I guess. It's like gender conforming. Males only can have short hair. Although we live in a time of Chris Hemsworth, okay? Although granted, in Ragnarok he has short hair, so that was kind of forced behind upon him. So he probably would have made more progress except for like all my reviewing stuff, particularly retroactively reviewing Mass Effect 1. But so far, I have like a whole lot more to like just talk about. Like here are my notes. You probably can't actually read them, but yeah, I've almost filled up an entire page just from the intro. Actually, there's like two. We're not even past the intro yet, so I don't know if I can really comment on the intro because the intro's kind of split into two halves. So anyway, so there's a poll you can participate in if you're so inclined to vote for our future Sim Saturdays. I play simulation games. I started taking to play simulation games every Saturday. Starting with City Skylines last time I did at Avon Colony. Maybe vote to see play more of either of those or something different. And it'll just generally the purpose of the poll is to just gauge interest in which simulation games most people want me to play. You can also suggest something in the comments. If I don't own it, it might take a while for me to actually get to it. But I'm mostly into like city simulation games. Although like I have an interest in like other kind of simulation games too, like Game Dev Tycoon's on there, Planet Coaster's on there, Two Point Hospital's on there. So yeah. So if you're on Twitch, the link is there above there. Hopefully you could read it. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, it is in the description. Of course, there's also a bunch of other things you can do. I'll take a few seconds of your time. Minecraft Realm you can check out. If you feel like pitching it in a more financial way, you can help vote for future mainline streams through Patreon. But of course, regardless of all that, I thank you for watching. And until next time,